Hey, what's up, you guys? I wanted to make this video and I wanted to talk about nofap slash semen retention again. And I wanted to talk about something that I've noticed over the course of my life and something that I've noticed that is a lot different from when I was growing up. So, with that being said, I noticed a difference in the way people perceive nofap or semen retention. So back in the day, most of us, we started off, if you got into this type of lifestyle, at a very early age, okay? But when I was younger, it was like there's always a sense of shame. There's always a sense of guilt doing this. There's always a sense of like I just knew that I shouldn't be doing this. You'd be in your room and you'd lock the door or you would sit there and do it in a private place. And I noticed that at an early age, I just shouldn't be doing this, okay? But now, the older I get, okay, I realize with so many guys, it's like there's no shame to this anymore. There's no, it's like they morally think that it's acceptable. They think that it's just natural. And so I've even noticed, like, if you get online and you go to like certain websites, or if you go to Facebook and there's like groups and stuff like that, that if it's from like a mainstream news article, they talk about it, because I've seen a couple of these lately. If you go into the comment section and you just read the comments of people, you start to realize, like, when you don't even know if they're bots, you don't know if they're real comments or not, but the way that they make it seem is they always joke about it. That's the one thing I've noticed in this society. So they go in there and they make some sort of joke about people being on nofap, semen retention. They openly brag about doing this. They openly admit to doing this stuff. And it's like, I don't remember that ever being a thing where guys would get together and brag about this type of behavior. Like, if anything, back in the day when I was younger, if, let's say, hypothetically, it was brought up, and which is very rarely brought up, they'd be like, I don't do that. You would try to hide it. Like, there's a sense of like guilt, there's a sense of shame, there's a sense of like you just didn't want to participate in that. And you didn't want other people to sit there and know that you did something like this, that you're watching this type of stuff. And so you would try to avoid it like the plague. At least I did. Now it's like it's just natural. And I don't know how to explain it, how like we've evolved to like this point where if you read the comments on these pages and you see people and they're like, yeah, I do it every day, man. Oh man, you're telling me if I don't do this, I'm gonna get dude, I need to do it. It's a form of pleasure, man. And they're openly just like bragging, and it's like, I feel like this is the way life is now. Like, what was evil is now good. There's no sense of shame, there's no guilt, there's no looking at your own life and seeing this as anything that's harmful. And if somebody brings it up, oh, I'll do it, man. What's the big deal? There's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, I look at like the times that whenever I was growing up, and even if you look at um, older people, okay, I don't think that they went around bragging about this stuff. I don't think they went around and sat there was openly admitting to doing this stuff. There was a sense of like privacy, a sense of like you didn't want people to know that if you were doing this type of stuff, that you'd be bragging and making jokes and laughing about it and letting everybody know that, hey, you do this and it's totally acceptable. And I sit there and I think, like, it's even gotten to a point where it's like, you hear these stories of guys and all this stuff where, let's say they're actually having some fun with a girl, okay, sex, that they can't even like sit there and actually have sex. They have to look at the screen still and look at this stuff while they're doing this stuff. And I sit there and think, man, that was never a thing. I mean, you go back before they had the TVs or they had all this stuff. Like, you didn't have this stuff. And I don't think that they were just openly going around telling people. Yes, there might have been some groups and stuff like that where they were doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing with multiple men, multiple women, whatever. Yeah, but I don't think that outside of that group they were promoting this stuff as, oh man, yeah, I do it all the time. What's the big deal, man? Ha! And making jokes and memes about this stuff. And I I just don't know what has happened to society where this stuff is like, there's no shame, there's no guilt, there's no, uh, nothing seems to like really faze people anymore. People just do whatever they want and, oh, well, you caught me. What's the big deal, man? Ah, well, don't you do it? And it's like there's no sense of like any pride in yourself, dude. Like I remember growing up, it was like you didn't, if you did this, you did not tell anybody. Okay, you kept this quiet, dude. You kept it to yourself. You didn't go around telling your friends or anybody. I remember, like, everybody's heard the stories of people. They'd be like in their bedroom, somebody walk in, and it was like they would pull up their pants real fast and try to cut, because it's a sense of shame. There's guilt to that. But now it's like people online, there's no guilt, there's no shame. Oh, cool, dude. Yeah, I do it. What's the big deal, man? And then they turn it into some joke, making it seem like the people that don't do it, they're these religious people and all this other stuff they do. So I just wanted to bring this to light, and I just wanted to say that if you're on semen retention and you're on like nofap and you're on this journey, you're doing the right thing. Don't listen to these people. Don't even pay attention to the people in the comment sections if you read these forums or you get on any of this stuff, because you have to realize when you get on semen retention, you're doing something that is, by most standards, most guys will never do. They don't want to do it. They don't want to sit there and go down the route of trying to live a lifestyle like this. And it's just something that happens. I mean, they want to stay blind. They want to stay doing the things of the world and participate in these things and think that there's no big deal in it. And I would encourage you guys, stay on this journey. It's very important, because once you stay on this journey, you'll start to experience other things that in your life that are just like, your eyes start to open, and you start to have ears to hear, and you start to notice behaviors and patterns and all these interesting things. So I would encourage you guys to get right with God. Ask God to show you what you need to work on. Ask God to forgive you of your sins. Ask God to help you to forgive others, and ask God to just teach you what He wants you, because He's the only way, He's our only hope, and we need to surrender to Him. So I'd encourage you guys to have a good one, and God bless.